CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Havana calling. CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Radio Havana calling all shortwave listeners and radio amateurs. Welcome to DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana's weekly feature dedicated to the fascinating world of radio communications.
Hi, mis amigos radio aficionados all around the world. Friends of Radio Havana Cuba, welcome to this edition of DXers Unlimited. Coming to you when our amigo Sol, 93 miles away from us, is still keeping scientists busy trying to know why solar cycle 24 has had such a slow-moving tail end. At the time I was writing the script of this show, Saturday morning, no sunspots have been in sight for 35 consecutive days, while solar flux levels observed ran no higher than around 70 units, and yes, we're sailing right now through the solar minimum activity period, the nadir. Item 2, many long-time amateur radio operators worldwide are becoming quite concerned about the really alarming lack of activity of the ham bands, especially during the weekdays. During the weekends, and especially, of course, during the big contest, the ham radio contest, you will certainly much more activity on the favorite DX bands like 20 meters, but still, in my opinion, way down from what used to be heard 10 or 15 years ago on SSB, CW, and digital modes. Again, in my opinion, this lack of activity is to be traced back to the widespread presence of computers and the availability of internet services in developed nations. At the most important cities of less developed countries, it's also available, and now satellite internet is coming to progress. Mainly national capitals see the internet connection easier. But surprisingly, every time that there's one of the big contests in progress, the high frequency ones show an increase of level of activity, while national stations try to be among the winners of the contest. We're not seeing a flare-up of FT8 mode activity, the FT8 and FT4. These are surprise modes. So, amigos, the fact is that there are now lots of amateur radio stations in perfect operating conditions ready to be used, but they are actually getting less use in the SSB and CW and more use on the FT8 and FT4. Because their owners are spending most of the first time that usually used for part of the hobby, using the digital modes that provide communications under very poor propagation conditions. Item 3, the amazing 4-power social radios are making literacy campaigns possible in remote rural areas. I'm talking about AM and FM radios, thanks to a training program created here in Cuba. Yo Sí Puedo is the name of the literacy eradication program developed by Cuban pedagogues. But when translated into English, yes, I can, yo sí puedo, emphasizing the fact that people that don't know how to read and write can certainly learn if a relatively advanced age in life is used with the radio available. Yo sí puedo, the Cuban training program to help people learn how to read and write, using a combination of printed materials, coaches that help the trainees, and this is the element radio praise. Radio broadcast specially training program being used successfully in Haiti, Venezuela, Bolivia, and New Zealand communities, among other nations of the world. Yet another fascinating use for radio broadcasting that was made available absolutely free of charge to UNESCO by Cuban government, so that its use may be extended around the world free of charge to the more than 8 million inhabitants of planet Earth that are illiteracy. As you have just heard, radio can play a vitally important role in helping the world's illiterate learn how to read and write at much lower cost than any other way available. Item 4, technical topics here at DXers Unlimited. Antenna topics, popular one. A question sent in by several listeners. They all want to know what exactly is meant by an antenna system, often described in advertisement in radio, a mesh of dipoles, or a dipole mesh also. So stay tuned here for the answers of this question and other pictures of today's midweek edition of DXers Unlimited, coming to you from sunny, beautiful La Habana, Cuba. Spring is here. I'm Manicoro in Havana. Back with you in a few seconds, amigos. According to correspondence, the persons that work here, correspondence department, statistics, DXers Unlimited is among the most popular programs of our station. No doubt about that. That's thanks to you. And the antenna topic section is ranking always between the second and third place antenna topics of the list of more than antenna topic section combined with la número uno. The number one, you have questions in this feature aiming at clarifying the concept of a nest of dipoles or dipole mesh. So here's the answer. Yes, amigos. Yes, my friends. Several antenna manufacturers around the world, especially those that offer VHF and UHF antennas, are promoting an antenna system by the name of dipole nests. Yes, the nest used by the birds to hatch their eggs. Dipole nest, a name given to a certain number of half-wave dipole antennas tuned to specific frequencies and connected in parallel at their common feed point. That's the essential part of the technical aspect. The dipole nests are not exactly a broadband antenna because each of the elements has a definite resonant frequency bandwidth, but in actual practice, in real life, staggering the resonant frequencies of a certain number of half-wave dipoles can prove to be a quite useful antenna system in actual practice. Although this is not properly a broadband antenna, like the fan connecting the conical and biconical dipole elements that's being so well described in the antenna engineering literature broadband antennas chapters. For example, amateur radio operators have for a long time used a group of between 2 and 4 half-wave dipoles, wire dipoles, connected in parallel with the high-frequency bands and fed from a single coaxial cable, typically a 50 ohm flexible coaxial like RG8 or RG58, and using a 1-to-1 balance between the antenna's feed point and the coaxial cable. One of the favorite combinations for these half-wire versions of the dipole nest is used for covering the current between 2 and 10 meter bands, while all of them 17, 12, and 10 meters. According to my own practical experience at CO2KK Havana stations in Havana, using more than 3 dipoles is possible, but interaction between the antennas becomes more of a problem when you try to tune them properly. Dipole nests are sometimes seen at VHF monitoring stations used for the monitoring of the radio frequency spectrum, and those professional systems have up to 6 or even 7 dipoles connected to the dipole center element with coaxial cable. But don't try to buy one of those, as they are pretty expensive, and according to experts, it's much more better option to invest your money in homebrewing a broadband conical or cage dipole antennas that will provide much better performance than the typical very much publicized dipole nest sold by professional manufacturers. So listening to DXers Unlimited, amigos, radio program devoted to the promotion and development of this wonderful hobby that you and I enjoy so much, radio. Your radio hobby questions are most welcome always. Send them to info-rhc, again, info-rhc@enet.cu, or via airmail, also very easy airmail, to Arnie Coro. My last name is spelled Charlie, Oscar, Romeo, Oscar, Arnie, Alpha, Romeo, November, India, Echo, Arnie Coro, Radio Havana Cuba, Havana, Cuba. And now, the next item of today's weekend program. One of the most fascinating ways of enjoying the show is the most simple equipment. An upcoming contest calls for the use of a single active device receiver, be it a vacuum tube, a bipolar transistor, or a field effect transistor, or a MOSFET. In an upcoming edition of this show, DXers Unlimited, I will try to be broadcasting the rules for this one active device receiver contest, a single active device. But in the meantime, let me tell you that my single device vacuum tube, a 3S4 triode with a pair of Hoya Peters headphones, provides amazingly good receptions on the 40 meters amateur band. These amateur radio communications are now in progress worldwide using the popular FT8 and FT4 and JT65 specialized communications modes, providing one of the more than 90 different ways you and I have a nice time playing with our radios, now with the digital modes available.
And that's all for today. This is Arnie Coro, Radio Amateur CO2KK, your host here at Radio Havana's DXers Unlimited, saying 73 and very good DX.
And very good DX to you too, Arnie. Now it's